Hi, everybody. How are you today? I'm Lorina, the mystical ex-Mormon medium, psychic medium, healer, mystical explorer, and all those fun things. I don't know. Not quite. I'm trying to figure out how that's going to roll off my tongue and say it the way I want to. But anyway, I do readings and healings and had tons of mystical experiences, and that's why I'm sharing this. And especially the Mormon part, a lot of people who come from Mormonism, that is a religion that's based on mysticism. It's based on people visiting you, seeing visions, seeing spirits. Now, I'm not a Mormon anymore, but I have had a lot of those experiences. And a lot of Mormons, when they leave the church, they're so kind of disgusted and disgruntled with the church that they become atheists. Well, I've had a lot of mystical experiences, so I like sharing them because it's the world that I live in. I love having mystical experiences. And also I realize that sometimes when you say, I had a vision, or I saw this thing that probably most people can't see, that sounds crazy. And there's always a part of me that's going, I am very aware that this sounds crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm actually very grounded in reality, but I do have experiences in this other world. In fact, I'd like to think of myself as having, my both feet in two different worlds. I think it's a good way to speak of it. Anyway, so this last week, I had a couple of really interesting experiences. One was about 2 weeks ago. And I was doing an energy healing session on this woman. And I've spoken about her before because she's had some really a bad relation. She's had, well, I don't even know how to say it. Her mother is pretty dark. Not to diagnose anyone, but I think she's a psychopath or something like that. I'm not a mental health practitioner, or I am not a doctor, psychiatrist, or anything like that. So, but hey, that's my guess because this woman is pretty dark and evil. Anyway, I have removed some stuff coming from her mother around her energetic body before. And I have shared that on some of these YouTube videos. Pretty intense stuff. And what happened this last time that I saw her, she comes in every once in a while. When stuff's going on, she needs some stuff cleared. I was removing some hooks from her mother that was like psychic hooks. And we can get psychic hooks pretty easily. They happen, especially if you're connected through relationship or through sex with people. And the more intense the relationship, the deeper those hooks or more powerful those hooks can be. So they're energetic hooks. There were some hooks in her back, along her spine, in the energetic system that I was pulling out from her back. She was laying on her side. I was pulling these things out. And it was stuff from her mother. These hooks were from her mother. And we've removed her mother's stuff before. But the wild thing is that I saw this energy coming in. It looked like a raging banshee come into the room above me, over in this side, like coming towards me, and it looked like a raging banshee, like rah, female banshee coming at me. Okay, I've never seen anything quite like this. And what was going on was somehow, and her mother is alive, but somehow there's a part of her spirit, probably subconsciously, knew that these hooks are being removed from her daughter so that she can't have as much control over her. So I'm pulling these cords out and I see this thing coming at me, and it looked like a raging banshee flying through the air. And now I have a spirit guide. It's very powerful, Native American. who's been showing up lately again. I have worked with him before. He has suddenly started showing up again over the last month or so. He's really good at dealing with this stuff. And I said, can you take care of that for me? Because it was coming right for me. And he just took it out, and it was out of there. Ooh, I feel so much better just saying that. It's amazing. Anyway, so it's great to know who your guides are and call on them and assist you. And I always call on all my guides, my teachers, my helpers, to come help me when I'm doing this kind of work. It's really important. And you don't have to know their names. You don't have to know exactly who they are. But if you can become familiar with them, so that when you need them, you can call on them. But you can also just say, hey, I need some help. Spirit guides show up. But as you do more and more of this work, you become more familiar with how it feels when they're there, or maybe be able to see them in your mind's eye. Anyway, interesting story. At least I thought so. Okay. So another story, I was doing an energy healing again on somebody. This was this week. And I literally saw what looked like a ghost kind of fly up out of her body. Now it came from somewhere around the solar plexus sacral area, and it looked just like a ghost. And it was female, but yeah, female ghost, like ghostly looking. She came up out of her body and just floated off. Now the thing is, usually when somebody has some sort of spirit attachment, there's some sort of fight, or not fight, communication, like, I need some help removing the spirit, please. And you might actually communicate with them. That is a thing that can happen. But this one, I just got up and kind of floated up out of her and went away. And I was like, whoa. Okay, I have not seen anything quite like that, where this, I guess the spirit decided she was done. I did ask right after I saw that, I said, help her find a way to the light. I think that's where she's headed. And then I went back to just doing it, because it was not my job at that moment to focus on that spirit. It was my job to focus on this woman that I was doing energy healing on. Anyway, just interesting little story. One other story, and this was yesterday. I was doing a mediumship reading for somebody. Now, I know this woman. She's had several readings with me, and also she is a friend of a really old friend who is no longer alive. And I mean like a friend from when I was 18 years old. She is the younger sister of this friend. Anyway, and this woman has had some recent losses that were very devastating to her, as far as someone leaving her. I don't want it to get too personal, but somebody leaving her a death of a really close family member. Anyway, there were other people that the person she wanted to contact with did show up, and there was a lot of information around that. And I don't really want to talk about that, because it's just, at this time, it's just too personal. But this part is really funny. So she did want to hear from her sister Jerry, who was my friend. And I think I met her around 18 years old, and we were friends for many years. And then we kind of parted ways. And then I moved to New York. And so there was many years between us that we were not in contact. And she contacted me about 2 or 3 years before she passed away. And we talked a couple of times over the phone, but didn't visit her, knew a little bit about her life. Anyway, so when Jerry shows up to talk to Gloria, all of a sudden, I saw Jerry with these birds, with exotic birds sitting on her shoulder. What side was it? Yeah, this side. Sitting on her shoulder like a couple of beautiful exotic birds. And then she kept showing me toes, like on your feet. I'm like, why is she showing me toes? So I had told Gloria, Okay, Jerry's here and she's got exotic birds sitting on her shoulder. The birds are here with her. And, you know, she was, my client, who's also a friend now, was laughing. And then all of a sudden, well, the whole thing about the toes, back to the toes. I kept thinking, oh, Jerry is showing me her toes. And then all of a sudden, Gloria said something about her toes. I'm like, oh my God, she is showing me her toes. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. There was some confusion. It was actually Gloria's toes. And Jerry did have some birds. And one of the birds one time flew over to Gloria's foot and started biting her toes, attacking her toes. Anyway, it was just a really funny story. They both laughed hysterically over it and over the toe thing. And her birds attacking Gloria's toes. It literally bit her toe pretty hard too, from what I hear. Anyway, it was just kind of a fun little story that, you know, when our loved ones come and visit us, they will share stories from their past that do have a lot of meaning for you. Anyway, it was just a fun story. She laughed a lot. I laughed a lot. They laughed a lot when that happened. Anyway, that's it. Okay, those are my 3 little stories for today. I hope you enjoy this. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon.